Wakizashi's Tea House. Konnichiwa, minasan. It's Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House home in Japan. How you doing? You good? Are you genki? I'm genki, thank you. Before I do that, a quick bit of background. Now, I'm a huge fan of the comic book. This is issue 1, which came out in January 1989. I bought it. I still have it. I've got the whole series, issue 1. This is issue 75, the last one. So it ran for 75 issues plus one special. What was the date for this? This was March 96. So from Jan 89 to March 1996. Love this comic book. Fantastic stories in here. Some amazing ones, some kind of average ones, but overall a great series. So I'm a huge fan of Sandman. I was so excited to hear that they were going to make finally do an adaptation of it. I thought Netflix doing it, so this is going to be good. There'll be a lot of money behind it. Let's hope for the best. But as you probably heard, there's been quite a bit of controversy about certain casting decisions. And yeah, so I'm going to give my thoughts on the trailer, break it down, and let you know what I think. So please keep watching. Here we go. Stop there. Now you can see his eyes. In the comics, his eyes are like, it's very black and there's two tiny like white almost stars in each eye, pinpricks of light. I really like that image in the comics. It's a classic image of him, the Sandman, the Lord of the Dreams. You could like get lost in his eyes. It's like he has a world in his eyes. This, they've decided to go for, the actor's eyes, human eyes, which, I don't know, it just feels wrong for me right from the start. Okay, nice image of the sand flowing around him with the Sandman. Sand is very important to the character. He has a pouch of magic sand which can change and shape things. Again, this is a great image from one of the comics. They used this to advertise the comic before it was coming out. It's the image of Morpheus blowing his sand, his magic sand into your eyes. The idea of the Sandman's coming to take the sand out of your eyes. But the eyes are wrong. The eyes are all wrong. Okay, this is an interesting image here. We've got a view from in a cave. You can see hands in the walls there, somebody on the floor. There's a black raven, which is one of Morpheus's, not friends, familiars, who helps him. And there's somebody outside the gate. I'm not sure who this is. Very brief image. Now pause here. This is a really good image. This is straight from the comic book. This is Desire's lair, their castle where they lurk. You have to use they for Desire because they are hermaphrodite. They are neither male nor female. But I say this image is really good. Then we hear about dreams and nightmares. There's focus on nightmares, and we get our first image of one of the villains, I guess, in this first series. I don't know if it's going to be just season 1 or they're going to have multiple seasons, but this is the Corinthian, and he is a nightmare. I don't want to give too much away, but he looks very close to the image from the comic books. It's interesting that because in the comics, he looks like a white guy, and with the kind of blonde hair. He's the bad guy, he's a villain, so maybe that's why they kept him as comic book accurate. Again, we have a great sequence here. This is taken straight from the comic book. It looks good, apart from his eyes, which again, sorry, I know I keep saying that, but it's just off. This could be lifted from one of the pages of the first issue, where you see Sandman. Well, again, I don't want to give too much away, but he's going from one place to another. Great sequence. Okay, we get our first view of the Dream Kingdom, the Dream Lord's castle, Morpheus's castle. I don't know, looks very CG to me. Okay, a nice view from inside the castle. I like the use of the lights there through the stained glass windows. And you see Matthew, he's the Raven, Matthew perched on Morpheus's shoulder there. Again, this is the Corinthian, he's narrating during this. I've had the sound down because of being killed by copyright strikes. So Corinthian's saying he's out there looking for me. This is meant to be Lucien, the librarian. I'm going to show an image. Okay, as I was saying, this is Lucien from the comic book. This is issue 2 from February 1989. I want to show you the image. Lucien the librarian. This is what it looks like in the comic, and it's such a great character design, don't you think? The weird, almost like Mohican-style haircut, the glasses, long, like, pointy chin. Yeah, I wish they'd gone for this character, this look in the series. So I love the character from the comic book. It's a very distinctive looking, middle-aged, strange, like old guy. Of course, a white guy with a great hairstyle, weird hairstyle, glasses. And he's the librarian of the Dream Lord's library. It's the library made of books which were always dreamed about but never written. Great idea. Again, we have the Corinthian. So there's a lot of focus on the Corinthian in this trailer. Okay, for me, this character, more than the change in the character of Death, this one really rubs me up the wrong way. Now, this is Clara from Doctor Who. This is meant to be John Constantine. You know, the classic trench coat wearing, blonde-haired, blue-eyed character from the comics. The magician, the street magician. The man that everyone loves to hate. They've changed it to Joanna Constantine. Now, I know Joanna Constantine is a character from the comics. I have all the comics, I've read them. She plays John Constantine's ancestor. She was alive during the French Revolution, and she does a very important job, kind of favour for Morpheus. It's in one of the comics in a different story. So to see them completely just swap this character to a female version but use the name of an existing character from the comics, they could have gone and they could have shown, you know, in the past John Constantine's ancestor. They could have shown her like doing part of the, well, what she does in the story. That would have been great to do that, to go back in time, you know, to see like that time in France, the French Revolution. But no, instead, okay, we've got a quota to fill, we've got to tick boxes. We can't have another white guy in this. We're going to change it to, okay, a white woman. It's just nonsense. John Constantine's like an iconic character. You know, he's been in so much comics, so many different comics. Was it just one main movie, isn't it? He was in, and a great series as well, which was cancelled. He was also in the Legends of Tomorrow series. So he's been in Constantine series. He's been in Legends of Tomorrow series, and he's been played by Keanu Reeves. Okay, I know, wasn't blonde hair, wasn't blue-eyed, but a white guy. There you go. No, they had to change it. Joanna Constantine. This is John Constantine, okay? This is issue 3, The Sandman, where he makes an appearance and he helps out Morpheus with the job. So check it out. This is the iconic John Constantine. I mean, you know what he looks like, surely, from the series. He's a little bit of a look of the singer Sting in his younger days. A bit shabby looking, often wears a trench coat. But yeah, has a Scouse accent. So John Constantine. Not Joanna Constantine, who is his ancestor, who was born like 200 or 300 years before him. You know, she was around during the French Revolution. And she can't even do a decent accent. That's meant to be a London accent. John Constantine's from Liverpool. He's supposed to have a Scouse accent. Okay, I guess that would be too difficult to understand, you know, for international audiences or something. Okay, just pause it here. We have a character played by David Thewlis, great actor. The character's called Dr. D, Dr. Destiny. And in the comics, he looks like an almost mummified, desiccated corpse of an old man. So they've not gone quite as horror as in the comics for this, but this is going to be part of one of the scariest issues of Sandman. There's one issue, I think it's called 24 Hours or 24-Hour Diner. It's set in a diner, and it is full on frightening, scary, hard, rated R. I don't know if they're going to show that in the actual series. I wonder how far they're going to go with it, but it's an amazing story, amazing issue. If you get the first collection of Sandman, the first volume, it's in there. Again, we see the Corinthian. Now, in the comic book, he has nothing to do with this diner, but it looked like they were showing him there. Or maybe not, they're just intercutting it, I don't know. Okay, here we have their version of Lucifer, Lucifer Morningstar, the fallen one, the devil, the light bringer. In the comics, he's always drawn as a blonde-haired, kind of blue-eyed, quite effeminate looking man, but they've gone for a female. They've gone for, you know, Game of Thrones. Gwendolyn Christie, is it? I mean, she looks pretty good, but I wanted to see, you know, more of an androgynous looking man in the part, and I've heard there's been controversy that they're not using the Lucifer series actor, you know, I think he's a British guy with black hair. They've not gone for him, so. Okay, I've got to say, this looks impressive. You get a first view of hell, which is very important to the first 10 issues. There's a great story in here where he goes to hell searching for one of his magical items, one of his things where he keeps his powers like stored in. Look at this. This does look good. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there we get Lucifer flapping it's supposed to be his wings, but can't say that, can you? Their wings. Now this is Abel. There's Cain and Abel are in this story. They used to be part of an old DC Comics series called House of Mystery, which was great. It used to show, or at least to tell horror stories, and they would be the the hosts of the comic kind of thing. So we have Cain and his brother Abel, and this is Abel's pet, Goldie. That helmet looks amazing, the dream helm, gotta say. Fantastic looking prop. Okay, here we have our first look at the character of Death, Dream's sister. Now, in the comic books, she was drawn iconically like a young goth chick, they said, so a young goth woman. So, very pale skin, beautiful dark eyeliner, very iconic image. Instead, they've gone for a black actress playing the part because Neil Gaiman said so, or they have quotas to fill, I guess. Okay, we have issue 8 here, where you get the first appearance of Death, Dream's sister. So I think in the bottom panel, can you see there? She's just walking, she's just arriving. Where are we? Try and get this in focus. I know the cameras doesn't do a great job, but you can see her there. And let's get a better image from a couple of pages in. To me, this is the iconic image of Death, the character from the Sandman universe. So a young goth looking woman with a golden ankh around her neck and long black hair, very pale skin, great image, iconic character. But no, they decided to go for something else. Okay, here we get our first look of Desire. Now, I've got to say, I do like the look of the character. I do like the way they've portrayed them. Looking very good. I think is it a trans actor doing this? I'm not 100% sure. But they look just like the comic book version, really good. They're supposed to be androgynous, neither male nor female, but very alluring, very sexual. I got kind of Frankenfurter, Tim Curry vibes from this, you know, from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Great image there of the eye. Look at that, the weird kind of smoke or the movement inside the iris. Creepy. Leading to the Corinthian. Here he comes again. Pause it there, can you see? Look closely at his eyes, can you see? Wow, it's such a great character design. What a frightening idea that he has mouths instead of eyes. Again, beautiful design here. This is, I guess, the gates to either Morpheus' castle. You can see the Dream King's helmet there on both sides. Fantastic, lovely design. Again, another look at the helm, looking so cool. I like the way the air is kind of warping around the figure, around him. It's freaky. Again, I've mentioned it before, just to reiterate. Morpheus, Dream Lord, just looks wrong with like normal eyes. Okay, you can call me picky, but I'm a big fan of the comic book anyway. We had the Corinthian there with his dark sunglasses on. Wearing those, I think he looks much more powerful, much more intimidating than Morpheus, the Dream Lord, which just doesn't make sense, you know. The Dream Lord's supposed to be, fill you with like a mixture of fear and amazement, you know, maybe intrigue, but they've gone for human eyes and it just looks all wrong. Great to see Charles Dance there, just for a brief moment. Yeah, it's good to see him in it. He's playing the magician at the very beginning, who I think summons Dream. Now this is a really creepy image. I'm not sure what's going on here. Something coming out of this guy's mouth. Yeah, I like it. Nice bit of body horror. This is David Thewlis again, Dr. D. It looks like inside Morpheus's castle, his throne room maybe. It's on fire, it's not looking good. Now, I've not got the sound on, I know, but his voice, his accent is kind of American. He's like, turns out I fit right in. Interesting they've gone for that. A white guy with an American accent is the villain. Again, a fantastic image, a fantastic sequence. You've got the Dream Lord with his helmet on, his cloak is flapping in the background. It looks like a bird. Fantastic there, like a crow or a raven. And yes, we get to see, just for a moment, there's Merv Pumpkinhead. Try and get the pause right. I want to see his face. There he is. What do you think? He's just a janitor. He works in the Dream Lord's castle. You know, he cleans up, he does jobs. He's always complaining. He's usually got a cigar in his mouth. Doesn't look like they've put it in there, does it? I guess you can't show smoking these days, can you? But it's great to see Merv Pumpkinhead in here. I'm looking forward to hearing what his voice is like, because he was written with a really cool accent in the comics. You could imagine him like, you know, always like grumbling and groaning and having a real, almost like Tom Waits style voice to him. We'll see. Dreams don't die. I'm not sure who this character is. Is it Death? It looks similar to the actress playing Death. Is it going back to a story where one of Morpheus's old lovers, ex-lovers, it could be her? Is it Nada? I'm not sure. We briefly saw Matthew, the Raven then, and then again another look at the helm. They've shown it quite a lot in this trailer, haven't they? They must be proud of it, because it is a great design. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the trailer. After this, it just shows you the title and tells you it's coming out on August the 5th. So, I hope you enjoyed my commentary. I know I'm going to annoy a few people, but that's it. You know, I'm a big fan of the comic. This is coming from the heart. This is how I feel about it. I'm still going to watch it. There's a lot I like the look of, which I'm looking forward to. We'll have to see how it goes. Just as the title comes in at the end here, we get a little bit of the song Mr. Sandman in the background, so nice to hear that. But yeah, so please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought about the commentary. Let me know what you think about the trailer. Are you excited about this? Are you going to be watching it? I'd love to hear from you. As I say, I'm a huge comic book fan of Sandman, and I'm looking forward to it. Despite all the changes in casting, we'll have to see how it goes. Okay. As always, thanks so much for watching. This is Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House over in Japan, signing off for the day. Matane. Wakazashi's Tea House. Please subscribe.